Looking at the woman who looked exactly like her, she suddenly realized she was already dead, and her corpse was dressed up like a bunny girl. But what puzzled her even more was, at this moment she could clearly feel her existence, but when she desperately waved at the police for help, they couldn't see her. At this moment, she had no choice but to accept this fact. The police lifted the mask, confirming that this woman had been dead for 3 days. On-site investigation showed this was not the primary crime scene. The obvious drag marks on the ground indicated the body had been moved from somewhere else. After the on-site investigation, the 2 police officers decided to go to the deceased's residence to investigate. Annie was eager to follow the police car, but found that her hand passed right through the car door handle. After several attempts, she went straight through the car door and sat down. When they arrived at her home, the police didn't find any useful clues. They only discovered on a laptop she had a lot of unread emails. The police then went to the sender's house. It turned out she was the deceased's good friend Anna. Apart from being sad, Anna was full of complaints about Annie. Because Annie was pretty, men would often ask her out, so it aroused her friend's jealousy. After Anna finished speaking, Annie, who was in a spiritual state, couldn't understand at all. Her best friend actually had such a bad opinion of her. She felt very angry. Then the police found Annie's ex-boyfriend. Annie also thought it was her ex-boyfriend who killed her. After questioning by the police, the ex-boyfriend had no idea about her death, because he had sent Annie a message the night before. The police determined that the ex-boyfriend had a motive for murder. Having no choice, the ex-boyfriend had to provide an alibi for not being at the scene that day. All the police's leads were cut off. They had to split up and take action. Annie was very unwilling to give up. She had to start investigating her own case. She went to the evidence room to look for useful clues. Finally, she discovered in a photo of herself and her best friend, there was actually a rope from the crime scene. In this light, Anna must be the killer. She used her angry energy to close the cabinet in Anna's house, knocking the cup out of her hand. The drunk Anna couldn't feel Annie's presence at all. Anna's younger brother hurried downstairs to ask what happened. From the conversation between the siblings, Annie learned a secret hidden for many years. It turned out that her best friend's brother had secretly loved Annie for 8 years. This made Annie feel incredible. She and Anna's brother had almost no interaction. When she came to her brother's room, she found that he was playing a bunny girl game, and the online chat room was full of all kinds of vulgar language. The next day there was a box on the police's desk. Inside were all the clues and evidence the woman had collected. In the end, she still solved the case herself.